live. Setting up your meeting. It's already set. Ready for the alerts. We have Bev to the left of me, listening in with the camera. Are you watching another video, Bev? Are you watching us? Waiting for the alert to come in.
We're not live yet.
We're not live, yeah? Oh, we are? Here I am.
I know, but I haven't had the alert.
You've not had the alert. Oh my goodness. What we should also additionally do is try and put it on. I'm going to try and do this as well. I'm putting it onto Facebook, Mum. Is that all right? So I'm going to put the link in so they can see we are live. See if this makes a difference. Oh, what was that? Try again, Danny. Hitting the wrong button. We are live. Don't want to faff around too much. I want to get on with the talking. I'm not creating a job. Why are you on a? Why did Facebook ask if I'm creating a job? I'm not. My goodness me, this technology. Anyway, right, we're here. We're in. Right. Yay. And I can hear. It's fun. And everyone's coming in. There we go, 15 watching now. Dave Ackroyd, Rachel Bentley, Jane Cuskin, Michelle Williams, Callum Burrell, Paul Hobbs, Elizabeth Shazam, Jackie Morris. It's a Norman conquest. Good afternoon, family. Norman says Callum Burrell. Brian Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Beverly Gow says hola. VKP, Victoria Knight Phillips. Hello, everyone. Great to see Lynne and John again. Yes, because what do they do? VKP, what did she do not long ago? When was it? At the beginning of the year. Is that right?
Yeah, she came down and she came to our house.
Just randomly. Yeah, because she was going to go and get her Jersey farm and she stayed at the hotel restaurant very nearby you. And I saw that.
Yeah.
Go and say hello to Mum and Dad. And then they popped round to say hello and you had a good old chat and a cup of tea, didn't you?
Cup of tea, we had a glass of wine.
Oh, I do apologise. I got the beverage wrong. I take that back. I didn't realise. A little bit more social of an occasion. Bev's got her headphones up so loud. She can hear this in about 10 seconds. Turn it down, Bev. I can hear myself through your headphones. Anyway, I just want to say thank you very much for being merch people. You got your dolly on, the With Me Out tees on.
Yeah.
Show us. There you go. Thank you very much. Proudly sporting that. And Dad, what have you got on? Looking in a much better condition than my one because I washed mine and I shouldn't have, so it's always crinkly.
Oh no, you can't wash a cap because of the front.
Okay. Bit late now, isn't it? Bit late for me to realise.
You can sponge it and then steam it.
Thank you for the handy piece of advice. I will do that. I will do that next time. Anyway, finally, with me now is it's very informal. If I say no, it's formal. No, it's too formal, isn't it? If I say Lynne and John, I don't like saying Lynne and John. You're not Lynne and John. Well, you are, but to me, you're Mum and Dad. You're my mum and my dad. Mum and Dad Norman, Lynne and John Norman, welcome to YouTube Live. Welcome to being broadcast live to the world on YouTube for the very first time. How are you feeling?
Great, thank you. It's very cold outside, but it is dry.
English small talk. Oh, the weather. It's making my knees creak a little bit. Oh.
Yes.
It's like looking 35 years into the future with my dad, is it? Look, basically got a t-shirt on, a hoodie and the With Me Now cap. So if you want to know what I look like in 35 years time, there's to go a tash. So you're a bit more top heavy on the lip. I'm a bit more scruff around the face.
Well,
that's different.
He did have a beard at the beginning of the year, but I didn't like it very much.
Did you not? Why did you not like it? Was it too scruffy when he gave you a kiss?
No, because he looked too much like Father Christmas.
Right, too much like Father Christmas. Is that a bad thing?
No, not really, but it was just not, it didn't suit him. I love the tosh.
The tash, the tosh.
Tash.
Right.
But in John's case, tosh.
This will go all over the place. Right, Lucy Maris has asked us, tell me, Danny's mum and dad, have you ordered your customised apricot teas yet? The ones that say, do you know my son Danny? The world will be a better place if you do.
Well, I would honestly love to, but he has told me no.
Who's he? Me or Dad?
Danny. Danny has told me I'm not allowed. Yes, I've got a mind of my own.
I didn't tell you that. Please do not exaggerate. I didn't say you are not allowed.
I am not exaggerating. You said don't.
I'd prefer that you didn't do that. You can happily say it to everybody that you greet at Ellenbrook Fields.
I do already.
Yeah, yes, I know that, right? Anyway, why have I brought you on? So, of course, I want to have you on. Karen Spackman has asked. She said, please, can we have you on? But also in a parkrun capacity, you guys are Ellenbrook Fields stalwarts. You have volunteered a load. So I do want to pick a bone with you. You don't run enough. You don't take part, I'm afraid. How very dare you? All you do is volunteer. You don't take enough. Why are you not taking part in Ellenbrook Fields more and more and using the event more? Why? Why is this?
Because we're happy doing what we do. I love what I'm doing. I love getting there, setting it up and having it and do all we do there. We've got a great crowd there, great people that pick us up every day on Saturday. You can't beat it, man.
And for me, I can't top when Beverly and the Ronaldsons and the lovely Mrs. Hancock came and whoever else was there. I can't remember all the
Whoever
names.
else. Oh, I can't remember all the people who came to see me. There was Megan Lewis and there was Jackie Morris, I believe.
Yeah.
And
I just...
Maria? Irish Maria? I think, did Irish Maria come and see you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Maria Higgins.
But I can never top that day. It was just magical, wonderful. And the camaraderie of everybody, of the normal parkrun people, the runners, all the volunteers, the RDs, the EDs, they stayed to watch me come back.
Yeah, they did. They stayed until around lunchtime, wasn't it? Because you were too busy petting dogs on the way around. Is that right? And having a chat.
Yes.
Regulars,
we didn't run. No, we had a little jog, stop, chatted to all the other people that was coming with their doggies.
Yeah.
Stroked their doggies. Had a wonderful, wonderful morning.
Ah, my goodness, you did. And that was just over a year ago. So yeah, Bev and the 26.2 lot came to see you. I was going to bring it up a little bit later because it's great that you brought it up now because you, as you say, you loved it so very, very much. So the rest of the Ellenbrook Parkrun family. So yeah, 4th anniversary, that was coming up. That's coming up when? Is it a week Saturday would have been the 4th anniversary? Is that correct?
It would have been on the 21st of May, the actual 4th time, fourth year, but we would have celebrated with a huge get together on the 23rd of May.
Yeah, unfortunately that's had to be put on pause. I'm sure you'll have a great celebration when it does come back. Well, in that time, in those 4 years, so roughly about 200 and something events, 210, because you do run New Year's Day as well, if I'm not mistaken. I do apologise how I didn't account for how many events you... No, it wouldn't be 200. Sorry, this is my bad research. I thought I had all the data because, of course, it's had to be paused, doesn't it? Anyway, in and around the 200 figure, you have done, Mum, 193 volunteer occasions, and Dad, you've done 190 volunteer occasions. Now, not always at Ellenbrook Fields, you have done Surbiton Juniors, you have been to Bushy as well, but you've been there such a large amount of time. You haven't missed very many, have you?
No. Only when we have to go to Moorfields Eye Hospital. That's the only time.
Yeah,
and
genetically, sorry, go ahead.
When the day up in the morning I had my stroke was the one I missed 3 years ago. You know, when I got up that morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I took. And
he said to the paramedic that came, in the way he could talk, he said, "I can't come with you. I have to go and volunteer at Ellenbrook Park."
So for a bit of context with people who may not know, so first off, genetically, we don't do very well eyeballs wise, do we, the Norman family? My eyesight. No. I wear contact lenses, and eyes wise, we haven't done very well genetically. But in context of the stroke thing, so people who may not be aware, I was down in Cornwall doing Penrose. I was with Bev and Libby. We were down there, and I got a call. And of course, what happened, that Dad did, of course, have a stroke, and you went to hospital, and therefore you missed a couple of weeks of park running via that. But it's safe to say that you have fully recovered now, yeah?
Oh yeah, I just have my annual checks, or not for that stroke, but I have a check-up for the kidney side of it a lot, because they weren't too happy with them when I had the stroke, after the stroke. So I just keep a check on that.
Yeah, but you've been okay since.
Okay. I look after him goodly.
You do look after him goodly, and also the parkrun family, the Ellenbrook Parkrun family, looks after you goodly well. So
you do, yeah.
Well, they do, because as you said, they pick you up. They they pick you up from your house, which is not particularly very far. I would prefer you walk up there because it's not massively far, you lazy pair of buggers. But
Yeah, but we like to chat before we get there with the ED.
okay, fair enough. You get there nice and early, you do your setups and you do your welcoming and the gate, because you are the gate welcomer at Ellenbrook Fields. You love to give all the hugs. Now that must be particularly hard because of course you've had to miss that, but also coming back, you may not be able to by rights hug in some capacity. How's that going to affect you on the gate, Mum?
Well, you
Very
know,
difficult.
Danny, how tactile I am. And to me, parkrun wasn't just about the run or the setting up. It was the cuddles and the chat at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I have missed so much everybody that ever came to Ellenbrook. And I missed so much. At the end of parkrun, I'd always buy some tins of sweeties for my darling children. And I've got 2 tins in there now.
So
full.
basically, you're basically giving kids diabetes.
No, they're only little tiny Haribo packets. Don't be cheeky.
Sorry, I do apologise. Okay, carry on. Sorry, buying sweets for the kids. Yep.
And just being there. Now, there's a fabulous man called Haribo Dave. He goes halfway.
Is that his real name, Haribo Dave?
That's what he's known as now.
What's his last name? What's his? Was it Dave Haribo? What irony would it be if he was called Dave Haribo? What's his full name?
Dave. That's all I know.
No, I know it's his. You don't know. You don't know his surname. You just know him as Haribo Dave.
I've forgotten it, to tell the truth.
Okay.
But he goes halfway around the course, and all the runners, they can have a jelly baby or a sweetie or whatever.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Do you cater for vegetarians though? Because of course Haribo's got gelatine in. Have you taken that into account?
Yes, probably.
Probably. You've no idea, have you? You objected to the fact when I turned vegetarian. How can I do Christmas dinners? What am I meant to do now? So
yeah, but we always got through it, and you always enjoyed your Christmas dinner.
It's very hard not to enjoy Christmas dinner. Thank you for making me the Christmas dinners, but I tend to do my own now. Talking about Christmas and Christmas parkrun capacity. So can I take you back to 2006?
Yes.
First visit. So I wanted to bring up that I was adamant to go down to Bushy Parkrun and do the parkrun, well, the time trial, I believe.
I know what's coming.
No, but it's a good thing. The fact is that I was working for Haymarket Media at the time, and then I managed to arrange a car that I could then drive down, because of course coming up to Hatfield when there's no public transport, didn't have a car, I couldn't come down, but I arranged a car to bring us down. Now I took you kicking and screaming, but in a good way. Dad was fine. Dad does what he's told. I mean, that's what happens when you've been married to someone for 40 years. You basically go, yes, my dear. And I'd learned to sort of tie into that. And therefore, Dad, you come in and went, yep, okay. Now, of course, when you deal with the matriarch of the household, being able to do something is a little bit more complicated, because, of course, this confuses you. Like, what do I do? How can I do the Christmas dinner? I've done this thing the same way for 50 plus years. I haven't done it before. It's going to really pull me out of my habits. And so you're like, I don't know what we're going to do. And so I said, trust me. And I brought you down. We drove down to Bushy Park. We arrived really, really early. We drove extra early to make sure that we're there in plenty of time. We arrived in the park. We got out. And then it was only a relatively small event compared to what it is now. Obviously 2,500 people, but back in those days, it was 100 and a bit. Your mind frame changed because it was your first experience. No, was it your first experience of parkrun, or had you been down before? I can't quite remember in terms of a spectating capacity.
No, I think it was our first.
Okay. Possibly.
And that was when the Swan was in the car park and he came to say hello.
You gave some of your toast. You did indeed. So the baby swan, yeah, absolutely. But, or Signet, well, coming out of Signet. Anyway, in case anybody says what a baby swan is, you know that people will say in the comments. But if it was your first experience, I wasn't quite sure, but it's definitely your first experience of Christmas parkrun.
Yep.
Is it safe to say that you fell in love with Christmas parkruns after that?
Oh,
I fell in love with parkrun, Christmas or otherwise, from that day.
What made it so special?
Because there was something truly magical about being there, doing something different, like you said, not having to think about Christmas dinner, and to go out and go down there. We had a fantastic run, 45 minutes it took from front door to the gates. And it was It
Can we
just
say an hour?
changed.
Can we say an hour? Otherwise, people will start to work out on Google Maps that I may not have been obliging the speed limit. It was a good hour from our house down there, wasn't it, Mum? Yes.
Okay then.
Thank you very
sorry,
much.
people, I made a mistake.
Sorry,
And then I think, if I remember right, Joe and Dottie and Paul
Joe
were
who?
there.
Joe who? Context.
Sorry, Joe Sinton Hewitt.
Yeah.
And one day, Sir Paul Sinton Hewitt were there. And the greeting that we both got from them alone just made it so special.
And it was all the presents and the gift giving, and it was all the fancy dress, and the kids dressed up like reindeer and snowmen and everything else, who made it a bit spectacular. And of course, your mind was changed there on in. And so a few years later, when I was looking to try and move away from the UK, what did Dad say to you at a family gathering once? It was very heartfelt. I thought this was nice to bring this up because it was very touching. So you thought I was going to move away. I was adamant to leave the UK. I was in love with New York at the time.
Yes,
Gathering.
I can't remember.
Oh, I remember it very much because it really struck a
Because
chord.
it was so profound, yes?
Well, it was ultimately a case of if I wanted to move away, Dad said to you, and you came over and said, you whispered to me, said, Dad said, if Danny leaves the country, how can we get down to Bushy Park for Christmas Day?
Oh, yes,
like,
I do remember.
That's called emotional blackmail, may I point out. Yeah, emotional blackmail. But there you go. But I didn't go anywhere. Still here, and we've been regularly going down. A couple of years we haven't been able to take you down, but most of the time you've been there on Christmas Day, and you've been.
I have been there lots of years out of since it started 2014.
Yeah. No, 2004. You're getting your years.
2004.
I understand there's a complication in what day it is, what year it is, what month it is, as it is going on with the lockdown. But yeah, 2004, 2005 when I first started.
I can't put a face on it, Dan. But
so again,
you were going through the cabbage patch, I used to come down with you, didn't I? On my own.
You did, Keith Hayworth, Stragglers. The following day, Cabbage Patch 4, which was done from Eel Pie Island. We started from Eel Pie Island, just the other side, which of course is where Parkrun HQ is now based, ironically, coincidentally. And so Ellenbrook Fields, I need to pop back to Ellenbrook Fields because obviously you are on the gate. Sweetheart, gorgeous, love, darling. Darling, sweetheart, love.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, those 4 rotations. So those are the 4 key words.
Yes.
You should have, oh, hello, sweetheart, on your apricot tea, because people keep asking about the apricot tea. Oh, hello, darling, gorgeous, sweetheart. Any one of those 4. Can you give a little bit of detail in terms of the community and how they, not only do the Ellenbrook Fields family look after you on the day, but they help you outside of that, extracurricular. So I want to give Chris McGurk and others a shout out. So what does Chris McGurk do for you?
Oh, Chris McGurk is fantastic. He's helped us with all the setting up the computer and the iPad and everything. And he's just always been there.
Yeah. He's
a great, great friend.
So that was the beauty. And that was for me, I use you as a litmus test, a defining moment, because personally, I feel that society is slightly broken down in a way that we're not quite so connected with our neighbours and the community aspect. So you guys have been living in Hatfield for years. Dad, you've born and bred in Hatfield and lived all your life there. And I felt that you were a bit disconnected. So when I knew the parkrun was coming and I encouraged you to go to Ellenbrook Fields parkrun, that it opened up a bigger capacity in terms of your tongue. I know what you're up to now. Hold on, we'll come to that in a second. I know what you're doing, cheeky. And so it broadened the community horizon. So I'm not able to do tech support for you all the time. So as I posted on Facebook earlier, it took us 75 minutes for me to arrange getting this Zoom meeting set up.
No, excuse me, it was not 75.
Yes, it was.
It was 1 hour.
No, because it was 15 minutes prior on your call to me, and then I called you back for an hour.
That was the chat between.
Anyway, the point is I wanted to make was that being involved in the Ellenbrook Fields parkrun family has expanded not only on the Saturday morning, but as a community, they can help you out. So Chris is helping you out technologically, but they've helped you out in many other different ways. So unfortunately, and of course you lost your father, lost my grandfather earlier in the year, but Ellenbrook Fields have been looking after you. And what did they do shortly after the passing of Grandad?
Oh, the doorbell rang and
I opened the door.
Daddy went to the door. When he opened it, on the doorstep was the most fantastic, beautiful bouquet and a card. And it was so heartfelt and truthful, and that's why parkrun means the world to both Daddy and I, not just for that, but for the whole community feeling that we love them all.
Yeah, but they've been doing so many little things like that. And so it makes me feel rest assured that I can't come and see you all the time because I am an hour away, not 45 minutes. I'm an hour away from you.
An hour, I beg your pardon.
2 hour journey. But of course I can't be there all the time, but it's wonderful to know that you are safe in their hands. So I extraordinarily appreciate how much they care for you and have looked after you those past 4 years.
They're all wonderful, wonderful people.
Now, I know what you're trumping at the bit over. So we've been asked about baby photos. Right, can I just do something before you get out your favourite? I vetted, so people who are watching, I vetted the photographs that she's been wanting to choose. She hasn't seen the comments, she just said, can I show baby photographs? Yes, you can in just 1 second. So I thought I'd save you the hassle. Technologically, I'm just going to do this for people so they can have a giggle. All right, and just 1 second, bear with me, caller, while I do this. I'm just going to share the screen and then let's see if I can do the photos. Let's share this. I should be able to see that.
We're good.
You've got it on the screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
There's my darling Daddy, who adored you two, Nick, your sister and you.
Yeah. I'm just seeing how it appears on YouTube, if it comes up all okay. So people can have a giggle. Yeah, it's coming up. Yep, there I am. Yes, there I am. So yes, my sister, Nicola, and then my granddad, who unfortunately passed away in February. But as we have said before, it's been a blessing that perhaps he did pass away whilst ill back then. Had he passed during this time, it would have been hard, very hard for us.
Well, they're good in the COVID, mate.
Yeah, it would have been horrible. Of course, we wouldn't have been able to say farewell in the way that we were able to back then. So a silver lining in a strange way, in a almost, sort of cathartic way. And there I am. There's me again.
Yes. Gorgeous. That's Daddy's favourite.
Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Where do I get always gorgeous? Of course, Glenn Turner was the original for that. Where do I get these ridiculously attractive genetics from? Where do I get them from? Don't know. Where are they from?
I don't know.
Look at that. Look at the hair. Look at that. I had hair, everybody. It's gone. So,
yes, well, bald-headed men are often the most intelligent.
That's okay, not necessarily true, or okay, I can't validate that. That's not true. That's very
okay. Well, look at Brockers.
Brockers?
Yeah.
Intelligent. You kidding?
No. I'm not kidding.
Come on then.
I just want to say.
Go and show us. I know what you're chomping at the bit to do. Come on.
I just want to say, our first run at Ellenbrook, when you and Grandad came, we had 273.
Oh, the inaugural. No, you did. You were spectating at the inaugural. I ran and Grandad came to watch. Yeah.
Yes.
You were the spectator. You weren't quite involved just yet.
The highest at Ellenbrook, I think, is 456.
Oh, you're giving is this Lynne and Norman stats? Is this?
It's out of my book.
You do realise all this information is stored online digitally. You don't need to write it down.
Yeah, I know, but like a real book to read, I like to have it in my hand.
As opposed to a fake book. Well, I guess digital book, yeah.
Right.
You write down my times every week as well, don't you? So even though it's stored online and archived on the website, you write down my times every week into your little book, don't you?
Yes, you're at the front of that book and all our Ellenbrook is at the back.
Okay, go on then. Embarrass me.
Here, everybody.
Why is my nappy so big?
Because we were at the beach. I think you may have had two nappies on. This is your granddad's favourite photo of you both ever.
Tilt it forward a little bit more. Tilt it forward a little bit more. I've always got a hoodie on. I've always loved a little hoodie, haven't I?
Yes, because it was a bit chilly that day.
Okay. Beach at Yarmouth.
Is that Yarmouth, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Great Yarmouth.
Which, of course, has a park run.
You didn't like the giant that was at the entrance to the sort of amusement place.
Okay. I didn't like fireworks either when I was younger, did I? Didn't like No.
Took you home.
First ever one we took you to, you were only
Mhm.
about 3,
Mhm.
perhaps 4. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I think it was 3.
Stanborough
And-
Lakes.
Carried him. I picked him up.
Yeah,
Stanborough Lakes,
once they started, you were really upset. So Daddy took you home and me and Nikki stayed. But that's fair enough.
I keep dropping my pens. Anyway, Great Yarmouth. I did go up there not long ago. Well, I say not long ago. That's not true. We just spoke about it a couple of weeks ago because I was up at Gorston Cliffs, and they just started a park run in Great Yarmouth too. So of course, what goes around, I'll be able to potentially go.
Comes around.
Yeah,
Now
fantastic.
here's another one.
Oh goodness, I thought it was only one. Oh, okay. What are you showing it to? You
Sorry.
completely missed the lens. Be closer. Bit closer, keep going, put it up to the lens. Do you know where the camera lens is? One of my favoriteest things ever was when I was with you about 18 months ago, when I gave you the phone to do barcode scanning, and I gave you my credit card barcode. And what did you do with it? Did you scan it on the phone? What did you do with it? How did you, I gave you the mobile phone, I gave you my credit card barcode. What did you do with the card?
I can't remember.
You rubbed it on the phone like an Oyster card, thinking,
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did.
right, oh, the screen's going slightly dark, but there's another one. Okay, so fine. Let's move on swiftly before you embarrass me far too much. Right. Shall we have a look at...
I never do that. If anything, it's the other way round. And
Okay.
you can ask Bev Ross for that.
I will do. Lucy Maris asked, Lucy Maris is loving the comments. Did the Norman household have a cat when Danny was little?
Yes, we did. And at this moment,
Not when
I'm
well,
look-
No, we had a lot of cats. We had a few cats.
so
Wait.
this is the debate. Now, we won't go too heavily into this because I'm a bit annoyed about this. Nicola, my sister, brought Sasha, who was the family cat when I was 11 years old. She arrived on my birthday when I was 10 or 11, one of the two, right? And we had her for many, many years. And of course, he unfortunately passed away from cancer about, was it 12 or 13 years later. Now, in the original house, between years of my life, 0 and 2, we also had cats, but I never knew about this until recently.
Lemsford Road.
yeah, when, but we were only there a little while.
Lemsford Road. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah. At one point, perhaps before you were born, Daddy and I had 8 cats, but they did get run over.
Leslie had them.
When we lived next door but one to Leslie, we had 8 cats.
Leslie in
And-
context is one of your close friends, by the way.
Leslie was my matron of honour at our wedding.
Yeah.
I met Daddy on the night that Leslie and I went for a drink, and she met her husband Peter, and we're all still together, great friends. And she sent me a message the other day because we haven't seen each other for months, and it's very hard because we often used to love going out for an evening dinner.
That'll come back. Just quickly back to the cats. You had 8 cats and some of them got run over.
Some of them died because
How and or why? How?
That boathouse was bad, wasn't it?
Well, there was a lady, a little sort of 10 doors away. She had lots of cats as well, and they kept having kittens. And I don't know if you'll remember, you may have been too small, but we had a coal bunker in the house at Lemsford Road.
Had you ever heard of spaying at that point?
Yeah, well, it wasn't our cats, but we looked after them. They didn't become pregnant, our cats, but they died of disease or they were run over.
Right, okay. I was hoping not to finish on a fairly traumatic note. So, okay. To answer Lucy's question, we had a lovely cat called Sasha that I really remember. Mum and Dad may have had cats when I was too young to remember. You should have got them spayed and maybe looked after them a bit better, but that's a different discussion for a different time. My goodness me. Right, on a lighter note, let's find a happier question. Stu.
As Brock has got one for me.
You're desperate for, I don't know, Mark will be watching. Mark, lob a question into the chat because we want to tie this up. It's been nearly 30 minutes. Stuart Harding says, this is great. Holly and I, Scabby Buttcrack from Running Is BS, they are giggling away at the stories. Brilliant. I thought, I'm glad to be entertaining you all at my expense with the embarrassment.
No.
Anthony Howe, sorry I'm late. Has anyone said it's like done an hour and in 30 years? Yes, I already made that comment, Anthony. Go back and watch that. Karen Spackman, stats chat. I agree with Lynn about having something tangible. Rachel Bentley, Tiny Danny, absolutely. Oh, you know, it would be really funny to put like a tiny Steve in that old photograph of me and Nicola. Have a little tiny Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I could Photoshop that at some point. That'd be quite hilarious.
Of course you can.
Oh, very cute, people are saying. He has hair, nice jumper, so cute, ridiculously attractive child. Correct. Absolutely. Well, Lynne and John at Bushy Park Run last Christmas Day, says Lucy Maris. Were you there on Christmas Day? Yes, you were.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Lucy
And we had some lovely mulled wine from Anne and Ray.
Okay, fantastic. Right then, there's no comment from Mark Brockerhurst, so we need to get in touch and say, oi, you've not been watching. Your parents are wonderful guest stars, says Martin Kaplan. So you have been fantastic. You have been brilliant. Congratulations on not being too embarrassing or swearing during the 30 minutes.
We don't swear when we do something like this.
No, offline. So I think.
Can I just tell you what I'm missing the most as well?
I was going to ask you, did you want to say anything else before we go? Yeah.
Yes, please. I really miss. Look at my hair. I've missed 2 hair appointments.
Look at my hair as well. I know.
And my podiatry for my toes and things.
How is this parkrun relevant?
It isn't, but I just wanted to think on a happy note.
You've been inconvenienced otherwise. Okay, that's perfectly fine.
But I know it'll all come back. And one day we'll all be together. Everybody can come to Ellenbrook.
Before we go, please say to me, parkrun family and parkrun community, because you said that on the 10th anniversary of Bushy Park all those years ago when I recorded you from the Anglers Park before. Say it for me, exaggerate it, go on.
Parkrun family and parkrun community.
Yeah, that's the embarrassing way you said it. That's spot on. Well done. Right, thank you for being with me. I'm going to hit end. So what we need to do, I don't know if you've been watching all the interviews. We need to do a zoom face. So there's a bit of an awkward pause because we're not sure as to when it actually hits end. So do a little wave, little smile, thumbs up, and do a cheesy grin. Hold it there. And then I'm going to hit end. Thank you for joining me. And tomorrow, who have we got?
My favourite lady. Joanne Sinton Hewitt.
The best Sinton Hewitts. Best all the Sinton Hewitts. Absolutely. Right, take care. The best. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Love you lots.
Bye.
Love you more.
Bye.